Hi, everyone. It's Amber and Sam. This is Lipstick, Lies, and Liberation. It's our podcast where we talk about everything women. We talk about the lies society has told us, different ways we can liberate ourselves, and things that we've learned along the way. So, we are sisters and we're excited to be here and talking. And today we are going to talk about, are men actually evolving? Are we seeing signs? Are they becoming more aware of the issues that women are facing and taking action to kind of change that and change their perspectives and make women feel safer and more comfortable around them? Or are we still stuck in the stone age? So we're going to go through all of that, but before we get to that, we're going to do our lipstick lie and liberation for the week. Sam, do you want me to go first?
Yeah, you start off with lipstick.
Okay. So my lipstick is actually, I have been trying really hard the past few days to get more sleep,
Mm.
and it's actually made me feel so much better.
Wow.
One, I don't feel as like scattered and busy. Two, I feel like I have a lot more energy. And three, I feel like it looks better too. So that has been my lipstick, and I've been feeling incredible like the last 3 days.
Damn, I'm so jealous you've been getting my sleep I've been missing. I've been sleeping like 5 hours.
I know you just said you weren't sleeping. I felt so bad.
Yeah. Well, it's the Lions Gate. There's a solar eclipse. Lots of energy going on. Yeah.
Lots of energy.
Yeah. My lipstick this week is this little mini Coach Rowan bag. I'm obsessed with the size of it because it really is a Mary Poppins bag, and I got it used on eBay because I like to try to get leather goods secondhand. But yeah, it like literally fits so much stuff, and it's crazy. I loved, yeah, and it's so cute. And I got this little chain from that Coach store, but. I actually have two lipsticks because the bag I'm obsessed with and the chain, but also this perfume that I got from this awesome perfumery apothecary store in Richmond, Virginia, and it's called
Cute.
Cirque du Soleil. And I don't really like vanilla smells, but this actually is a very like warm sort of vanilla smell, and for some reason I love it. It's like so sensual and beautiful and like warm and toasty rather than like a vanilla candle, you know? So,
Cute because I don't actually like vanilla smells either, even though like I
yeah.
love vanilla candles, I love vanilla to eat, I love vanilla cakes, but I don't like
Yeah.
to wear it as perfume. So I would be interested to smell that sometime.
Yeah, I'll have to spray it for you the next time we're in person. But yeah, I love
Yeah.
I'm obsessed. Go to their website and check them out. They're an awesome perfumery. I think that's what they call it, but they make their own stuff. But yeah, this is literally the little mini Coach Rowan is so cute. It comes in so many colors and patterns, and you can find a lot of them very cheap secondhand. So it's sustainable and really cute. And it fits so much. So that's my lipstick. What's your lie for this week?
Question about your lipstick. So one time, I was like hugging this guy and he like reached over and he started like smelling like back here, the back of my neck. And he was like, he literally said to me, like, you can't make this up, that we had to smell each other to like know each other's like pheromones or something. Have you ever heard of that?
What did he say to you?
He said something like to smell each other's like pheromones or something like that. Have you ever heard of that? Or like get each other's scent or something? Like, I don't know. It was like very bizarre. And then he asked me to smell the back of his neck, and I was like,
When he met you for the first time, or like when did that
It was like
happen? Did
a
you?
third date. I mean, like, I still feel like you shouldn't be asking people to smell the back of their necks at this point. But I mean, like, is the dating world, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you call the police after? I don't know. Pheromone,
Some weird stuff. It's wild.
okay, so that is a big thing where like women who are on birth control, they've gotten off of birth control and then their partner like stinks to them now. Like their smells, their breath, and their like sweat and everything about them just like stinks and smells, and they're no because their pheromones or hormones are like affected when they're on the birth control, and then when they get off of it they like lose attraction and like are repulsed by their partner. So that's a thing, but that's like weird he said it. I
Okay,
mean,
so I've been single for 6 months, and I had a man ask to smell the back of my neck. And you were single for like, I don't know, 30 years? Like, and nobody ever asked you.
no, no one was like, smell my pheromones.
Girl, we had to do a whole segment on like my wild dating adventures because
Yeah.
I literally can't make
No.
up half of the things I've experienced. But like, I mean, forever in our hearts with you and my girlfriends, these stories
Yeah.
are fun. So
If you're, I know, whenever you're ready to share, we can go down that road. It would be really funny.
it'll be called Dating Apps Hinge Unhinged. That's what we'll call our episode.
Amber in the city.
And we're in the city. Okay, so, all
Mhm.
right. My lie is that I started to have a problem with my car on Friday, right before I was leaving to go somewhere to drive for a while. And at first I got like kind of flustered because it's not really my thing. I haven't really had any car issues since I've been like single or divorced, actually.
Yeah.
I got a little overwhelmed, but I figured it out.
Mm.
And my stepmom, it was with my tire. They like dropped me off this little tire gauge, and I learned how to like check the pressure in my tires, and like I monitored it during like my travels and stuff. So a lie was that I can't handle, something that was typically like taken care of by like my partner, and it felt good to be able to like figure that out and be able to handle it and like know everything was okay, and if it wasn't, then I'd be able to figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woohoo.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a dirty, dirty lie. Um,
Yes.
my lie is that dreams have to take a long time. I feel like I have a number of dreams that I kind of have put this timeline around it without consciously deciding. Like I just kind of subconsciously or like passively thought like, oh, this would have to take a long time in order to happen. And one of those dreams is like starting a B&B or having retreat space. And I decided it doesn't have to take a long time and that I would like to have it to happen soon, like within the next year or two. And so yeah, it doesn't have to take a long time. And I think starting to take action towards a dream that may seem huge, like this dream would be the like having a Victorian B&B. A lot of the ones I want are like $1 million. And um, being, yeah, so like, but looking at ones that are like $500,000, the like that has been really eye-opening of like, oh, this is so much closer than and so much more possible sooner than I realized. And actually, like in a year or two, maybe I could go for the $800,000 one. Like, who knows? So,
Mhm.
kind of dismantling like passive timelines that you have put there for no reason, is fun. And it's like, it's a lot like, who says? Who says
Yeah,
it
who
doesn't
can do
take?
it now? I
Yeah, why?
love.
Yeah. So like fuck it. And when you start to take action, I feel like little things happen, like inspired ideas or collaborations or because we could do $1 million one now. We would just need an investor, and that's a possibility. Like people do things like that. That's not outside of the realm of like life and options. Like there, you always have more choices than you think. And so that is like a big lie, is that dreams have to take a long time and thinking that you don't have as many choices as you actually do. So,
Mhm. I
yeah,
love that. I
thank
do.
you.
It's a lie. You don't have to wait on your dreams to make them happen.
Yeah, just go talk to people and be like, "Yeah, you got money? Give it to
Yeah.
me." And that's how you make your dreams
You
happen.
want to watch me run this? Come on.
I, you want to watch me do laundry for 10 strangers?
That's right.
What's your liberation?
My liberation is actually I decided to get off of dating apps.
You didn't
So
just decide that
I
you're like done.
yeah, so like I like got off like maybe 2 weeks ago, and it actually has felt liberating. I didn't realize how much time it was like consuming for me. Like
Yeah.
just with like going through it and like messaging people and deciding whether to go on a date and then like actually going on the date and then like deciding if you want a second date and like not for nothing. Like, look, I did it over the summer. It's my first time in my whole life pretty much being single. And
Yeah.
like, I had fun. Like, I had a good time. I met a ton of people. I have some really great stories. Like, I learned a lot. I laughed a lot. So like
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I regretted it, but I definitely think you can get like burnt out by it. And I'm like, all right, you know what? Like I'm kind of done with this now and dwindled down like people I was talking to and just like I'm like refocusing my energy. And it's funny, like the one guy that I probably meshed with the most that I enjoy hanging out with, that I still hang out with, is the only guy I met all summer organically. Like that I didn't meet through these dating apps that are supposed to like, you know, show you who you like and like what you have people interested in and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I'm just gonna take a step back from it. It's been exhausting.
Yeah.
And just maybe I'll go back to it one day, but like just see how it goes. So it's been kind of liberating, you know?
Yeah, that is liberating. Yeah, I mean, overall, I feel like from the outside looking in, you did have a lot of positive experiences, like compared to some people and
Yeah,
some of
well,
my experiences even. And
I did. I mean, like I have to say, hands down, I never felt unsafe, which is like a huge thing.
yeah.
And like maybe that's a positive towards like men involving that we can talk about. Like I
Yeah.
never felt well, I felt uncomfortable a couple times, you know, when people
Yeah.
say weird things.
Especially the pheromones.
Yeah, like there was a couple weird things and stuff, but like I never felt unsafe. So that was nice. And like, yeah, like I had good dates and like most of them seemed like great guys. They just weren't like for me. And you know, they were looking for something a lot more serious than I was ready for, and that's okay too. Um, but yeah, it was definitely fun, but it's definitely nice taking a break. So it's been liberating.
Yeah, it's a Schultz girl problem. I can't date men because they just want to marry me right away.
No, I'm serious. Like second date, he's like, "I love you." Third date, this other guy is like saying Amber with his last name. I'm
Yeah,
just
no,
like,
they're crazy.
this is a lot.
No, they are. They're so intense out there. It's like, yeah, I don't know.
They are, and I feel like when you meet the right person, it won't feel intense.
I don't
Like
know.
I don't know, like I feel like maybe it'll be cute. Like maybe not the next smelling thing, but like other things, I'll be like, oh, that was cute. You know?
Yeah. When you said the love thing, Ben on our third date, he was like, "There's love here." Like we were in the car, and I was like, "Where? Like where?
Oh,
Like where?
that's really
What are you talking about?"
where is it?
I know. It's like there's love here between us. So I
Mhm.
was like looking for it. Like I was like,
No,
hold on, like hold the phone.
but see, you guys worked out, so you never know.
Yeah, I mean, the right person, like they will just be very clear about their feelings for you, but they will also try to not scare you too at the same
Mm.
time, like usually.
Yeah, like this guy
Um,
was like, I was laughing and he was like, God, I love you. And then he was like, I can't believe I said that out loud. And then like he was like looking at me to like respond. And I was like, you know, like we're saying like, oh, like I guess something back. And I was just like, like
like, you're so attractive when you don't talk. Like,
I know, I know. And then on the fourth day he said it again, and I was like, okay, this wasn't an accident. This is getting weird. And he was like, should we switch weekends? Like so our weekends sync up. And I was like,
no. Yeah.
yeah.
I
Mm.
know. There, yeah. And we've got the statistics to back up some of that and explain some of that behavior. My
Mhm.
liberation this week is that Ben had a vasectomy, Ben, my fiance, and the idea of like just knowing that I'll never, and like today right now is the first day of my period, so that's why I'm a little like ugh.
Mm.
But doing great. But yeah, the driving through
True.
driving through the pain. Um But knowing that I will never accidentally get pregnant and
Yeah.
like from my long-term partner is like such a relief that I can't explain because I've just had like so much fear around it and it just yeah, it's like not having that worry of it ever happening is like it feels so freeing. Like it feels
Yeah.
amazing.
I guess
Um
it'd be really liberating, like, if you're sure that that's what you want, you know, for sure.
Yeah, yeah. It's just like, oh, I don't have to worry about my body, that happening to my body, and like
Mhm.
making a decision and
Yeah.
worrying. And yeah, it just, yeah, it feels so good. So that is my liberation. And okay, let's get into today's episode. Are men evolving? We would love to hear what you think down below in the comments before we dive in. We're going to share some of our personal opinions and experiences. And then we also, I've got a whopping amount of statistics of different things related to this topic. So, um, we're, yeah, we're going to get into it. So let us know what you think. And then, but Amber, I'd love for you to start with what your opinion is.
Okay, so meeting a bunch of different guys this summer and like, different backgrounds, different ethnicities, was really eye-opening to see that there are a lot of different opinions when it comes to men. And I was pleasantly surprised, like talking to them, I genuinely did feel like men are becoming more aware of, like the way they present or the way they might be treating women and how it's like unjust and unfair and can make them feel unsafe. So like I did have like examples of that and that felt really nice. There were guys that like if I'd gone on a few dates, I would finally let them pick me up. And, they'd always ask, usually at the beginning, like, oh, can I pick you up for the date? And I would say, no, like I'll meet you there. But they all seemed very aware of like, I want to offer because it's a gentleman thing to do, but I understand if you're not comfortable. And then the ones that I did let like eventually pick me up and drive me, like I felt like most of them would be like, are you comfortable? Like, are you okay if we go here? Like they were very like aware of like the fact that like I was almost putting myself in a vulnerable position by
Yeah.
allowing them to be in charge of the transportation and stuff. So like I did appreciate that and I was surprised by that. And like I had one guy who asked him like I think I went on 4 dates with him and like every date he asked. And like there was a part of it that was like, is he gonna get pissed off that I keep saying no? And like, and I feel like he kept making our dates like a little further and further away. like, like she's not gonna want to drive an hour, or she's not gonna, you know what I mean? Like, because he'd be like, oh, there's this really cool restaurant I want to take you to, but it's like 45 minutes away. Can I pick you up? And I was like, no, I'll meet you there. Like, sounds good, looks cool. And then eventually I let him, but like, so I don't know. Like for me, like I was thinking like, oh, is this person going to get upset that I have this boundary? But I always felt that they didn't and they respected it, which was really nice. So I thought that was good. I did have an experience recently that made me feel like they took like 25 steps back because, but then it had a silver lining. So I went to a concert and I took my older son and his girlfriend. And I was walking through the inside of the stadium before, like looking for our section to go down to where our seats were. So it's very crowded. It's like before the concert's going to start. There's like so many people. And this group of guys walks past me that are like probably like five or six, like less than 10 years younger than me, right? But definitely like younger than me, but like, like frat looking boys, all turned up. You can tell they've been drinking in the parking lot. You know what I mean? Just
Frat
like
boys
very
would be like in their 20s, Amber.
well, but no, but like frat boys that never like matured, right?
Oh, okay, got it.
Like they
Okay.
still
I'm
have
like,
that. Yeah, like they're just like fuck boys, right? Like that's what they still look like, but like a whole group. But like I'm there with my kid, right? But I'm not there with like a guy. And they're
yeah.
walking past me, and the one walks past me and he goes like this, and he just slaps my butt, holds it, and let's go. And we keep
Yours?
yeah, and keeps walking. So I turned
How
around.
did you not tell me about that?
I mean, there's so many things that happen in the course of my life. Like, I feel like I try to update you on everything, but I'm like, but like, how unfair is that? That I am there with my child and another child, and I'm subjected to something like that. So I whip around and I yell, "Hey!" Like shocked because like I didn't even see it coming. And he's just walking and he's looking back and he's laughing at me, giggling, like smiling like some asshole. And it put me in a position to where like am I going to start something and do something about it? But like, I'm here with my kid. So it's very like,
Yeah.
it sucked. I felt like for the first time in a long time as a woman, I felt like helpless
Yeah.
to like do anything about it. And then the rest of the time I'm walking, it's like in my head, like every time a guy passes me, I'm like, oh, like, you know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah.
shouldn't have to do that. I shouldn't
Yeah.
have to be in that position. And like, I've encountered more and more circumstances like that over the last 7 months that I've been single than I have like the last like 20 years. And I think it's because before I was always in a relationship. So there was always a guy there with me. So like, how horrible is that? That like if there's a guy there with me, other guys aren't going to do stuff like this. But when you're by yourself, they're like, oh, well, we don't have to respect this woman now because she's nobody's property. So I can put my hands on her anywhere I want to.
Yes. Oh, like being single in the world is a completely different world than when you're next to a man. It's a completely different reality, and it
Yeah.
sucks. Also, like to play into that, which it's horrible and it shouldn't be the case. But when I got my engagement ring, even if I wasn't with Ben, men would still leave me alone and like not come up to me. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
in that scenario where it's like obviously you're not trying to hit on anyone, like I would be
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm gonna wear a fake engagement ring so these dudes like leave me the hell alone. It really is like a force field. Like they see
But
it.
how sad is that?
It
That
is
you have
sad.
to adjust your jewelry so that men don't bother you.
Yeah. Yeah,
And like
you're
I
lucky
was
I wasn't there, Amber. I would have been like, I'll fucking kill you. I'm fucking crazy. I'm from Philly. Like, I would
I
have,
mean, they're lucky I wasn't there by myself or with my girlfriends because then I probably would have like
yeah.
said like made something happen. And like, but so the only silver lining to that is that like the two guys that I told that to, like, like guys that like I'm friends with, both of them were like horrified.
Hmm.
Like they were like, you know what I mean? Like for me, like sex and stuff, but they were like actually horrified. Like the one guy was like, that's an actual crime. Like
Yeah.
he can't do that to you. Like he can't
No.
touch you like that. And then the other one was like, what a coward to touch
Yeah.
you like that because he knew that either you were by yourself or he could tell you were with your kid. And he was
Yeah.
like, that guy's such a coward for like doing that, like because of those circumstances. So like, it was like, it just like I was like, oh, maybe men are getting better and stuff, And then I had that experience happen, which like kind of like threw him back a couple steps. But then like talking to these other guys and like seeing how seriously they took it, like they didn't laugh it off and they weren't like, oh, that's gross. Are you okay? Like they like responded very seriously to me, which like actually surprised me.
Yeah. God, it's fucking terrible. It's crazy how like as women and men don't consider the same rarely where it's like you're thinking about your children, you're thinking about like
Mm-hmm.
like you're thinking about other people before your own like reaction, your own
Yeah, it's true.
space. And
Mm-hmm.
we're men don't, even if they had a kid with them, they wouldn't be thinking about that. They would just be like, what do I want to do? What blah, blah. And like,
Yeah.
and even it's like, do I want to cause a scene? Do I not? Do I want to like put my child at risk? Do I want to put myself at risk? And it's like, they just never
Mm-hmm.
have to even think like that, which is so annoying.
Yeah, like instead of just automatically being like, I'm standing up for myself, I
Yeah,
had to adjust and be like, all right, I'm a single woman. I'm in Philadelphia. I'm with, two kids. Like, is it worth it?
yeah,
Like, can things get worse for me from here? And the answer, honestly, is yeah, they could have gotten a lot worse for me if I had tried to run that guy down.
yeah. Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's about power. It's not about him being attracted to you. It's about him being like, I'm with a group of men and she's a small woman with a child. Like she can't do anything. And like it's about invading your space and trying to feel powerful because he obviously feels like a dingus, idiot, piece of shit, waste of life like he is. So yeah.
Yeah.
So shit
Mhm.
does what shit is. And well, I don't know.
Well,
I'm
it's
not
just hard because like, I've had other circumstances where I've been out with my girlfriends, and I've had men touch me not as like aggressively as that was, but like men like walk by me in like a crowded bar and like be like, "Oh, excuse me," and put like the palm of their hand on my back, but then it always slides down at some point, and it's like, and like I've had a lot of those incidents happen, and it's like, and I have turned around and been like, "You don't have to touch me." Like you could
Yeah.
say excuse me and
Next
just walk
time,
past
just elbow to the face. Don't
me.
they put their hand on that's it. No. Yeah. Like uh I'm thinking about the last time that this guy followed me in his car and then opened the car door and was like jerking off and then like I charged at him and ran at him and he sped away and then I tried to follow him for a few blocks because I wanted to get his license plate and then I like lost him.
Yeah. And like men don't have to deal with that. And it's just like,
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, okay. So besides wanting to be Calamity Jane, are men evolving? Honestly, like I go back. I really, at this point, they should all be institutionalized. And like pass tests in order to rejoin society. But I think that would be fair. Yeah, are men evolving? I don't know. I like to think like going back to what I teach for women, what I decided for myself when it came to dating, what I taught in my dating class, my course that you can buy, link is in the bio, um, uh, is like you have to decide what you believe in. Like you have to decide what world you live in. Like what are your spiritual beliefs? Like do you think that there is something outside of you in this world that would connect you with someone amazing who is evolved, who is at your level, who can meet you intellectually and like keep you safe and meet your needs and fill your heart with love and make you feel seen and valued and protected and all the things as a woman. Like, do you believe that's possible or do you believe in scarcity? And like, what kind of relationship with this external force do you want to invest in and gives power to? So I think that is like really, that's kind of the guiding force of this conversation because it doesn't, like, I'm gonna get into statistics later, but like, it doesn't matter what people say. It doesn't matter what the research is. It doesn't matter what you've experienced in the past. It matters what you believe is possible for you and what you will accept because if you believe something's possible for you and you will not accept anything else, then that will be your experience. And but if you don't, if you think like it's not possible, they don't exist, men are devolving, like, which may be true. It may be true, but that doesn't mean that like your person can't be out there and that your person can't find you. And like connecting to your heart and your personal truth, I think is an important part of this conversation. Um, yeah.
Well, and I think like I know for me, like dating and stuff, I think sticking to your standards is a good thing too. And
Mhm.
like I think like I don't know, like calling men out when they do something, I think is super important. Like I yelled like hey at that guy. And like so he knew I was not happy. I didn't turn around like, oh my God, he touched me, gave me attention. You know what I mean? Like he knew I was upset. And like I've
Yeah.
had other dating incident like circumstances happen where like I've told you too, where like men have done something that have made me like very uncomfortable or I didn't like. And like I've told them. Like I
Mhm.
haven't just like stopped talking to them. And not that it's my job to be the teacher of the world or to teach men how to treat women, but like
Yeah.
lately when I have a man do something that I think is just like not okay or appropriate, like I will have that conversation with them, even though it's awkward because like I'm just like, you should do better. Like
Yeah.
you should learn. Like you should know this bothered me because like maybe you'll fix it for the next person that you talk to and you won't treat her that way. And like I've always had men respond very well to that, surprisingly. Like I'm always waiting for the like you bitch or like I can't believe that bothered you, I was just joking. And I haven't gotten it from any of them, which has been really surprising. So like as much as like they've made me feel uncomfortable, then I felt like we were able to have a mature conversation about it. And like maybe like they just need to learn.
Yeah. I think the hardest thing about this conversation or this idea is that men are different to different people. Like a man who is interested in you will respond differently than a man who thinks you're not attractive or isn't interested in you.
That's
So,
very true. I have
yeah.
made it clear to the men that I've done that to, that I basically like sent a text like, you're not gonna see me again, and this is why, you know? So like
Yeah, but you're texting them, so in their head they're like, "Well, she still texted me, so I still have a chance." And no, like seriously,
about
they're
it.
like, "I'll text her in 6 months. I'll circle back." That's why you
It's true.
gotta
The
delete.
one guy did text me like 2 months later, like, hey,
Yes,
like,
that's why you gotta block them because they don't really perceive. They're like, "Oh, she didn't like that. Okay," rather than she didn't like me because
yeah.
I need to grow and change. She didn't like that. They're
Mhm.
so good at separating themselves from behavior because they've been like put on this pedestal by the patriarchy. So it's like
Yeah.
they truly don't see insult to character easily. And
Mhm.
I do think it's good to call people out. I don't think it's safe to do certain things in person. I think like especially
I
if
don't
you
ever
don't
do it
know
in
them.
person.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't ever.
especially if you don't know them well.
Yeah.
But and but also yeah, if you're it's also like not your job to
Mhm.
educate men.
Yeah.
So it's like if you're listening, like I wouldn't really take that on as like my job. I think if you are still open to dating them, like with me and Ben when we first started dating, like every little thing I didn't like, I said immediately. Like I was like, I don't like that. I don't the love's here. Where is it? I don't like, are you crazy? The fuck is
I
it? Like
know.
I don't try like no. There is no like trying to be sweet or like trying to if you don't like it, you don't like it. And like I feel like this was a really hard lesson for me to learn, and I know that Amber and I had a lot of conversations about this when she was newly getting into dating and if you don't mind me sharing. But yeah, like the idea of like it's not about right or wrong. Like, was it right that I think this or did this, or was it wrong that it's about like, do you like it? Like, do
Mhm.
you like it? That's the final boss and the final authority. Because it could be like right or wrong or like a healthy versus toxic, whatever. But if you don't like it, then it's garbage. Like it doesn't matter. So
Yeah, and it's like, I didn't like when you smelled my neck. Like,
yeah, yeah. Like next time it's like smell my neck again and see what happens. Like, yeah.
did you get consent to smell my neck?
And the messed up part is that they love it though. Like and that's but like a good man wants to be called out and challenged and like a good man will be like, "Yes, like speak up. Yeah, tell me you didn't like that." Like I love that because I want to get to know the real you and I want to actually make you happy. Not like I want a woman who is like smiling and barefoot and in the kitchen and because if you're trying to be perfect rather than authentic, that's what you're going to end up with is like a narcissistic, patriarchal, like gross person. So it's
Those
kind
are
of
the men I've exclusively dated until now.
yeah, because Amber has always been the most perfect. Yes.
And then it just like hits ahead. And yeah, but I will say that like dating, like and just being single and like getting to know and see like what kind of different men are out there since I've never done that before, like my mindset has changed. Like I don't walk into it and think like, oh my gosh, who does he want me to be? Am I pretty enough? Am I smart enough? Am I funny enough? I
Yeah.
go in there completely unnerved, just completely myself. And like I'm not thinking about what am I presenting anymore. Like I'm clearly just looking at what's being presented to me. It's a
Yeah.
totally different mindset. It
It's
is.
amazing. Yeah.
Mhm.
Because you're the one who matters.
Yeah. And you'll see, like, you just like it just changes your whole outlook on it, you know?
Yeah. It's interesting. I feel like therapy speak and like Instagram therapy made men evolve in the way of like weaponizing therapy speak. They live they're emerged a hybrid man who is like, I see that's a trigger for you. And I want to mirror and process your pain with you, but I can't take responsibility because I'm an empath and all this shit.
I had one man say like, can I have your number if that's within your boundaries? And I was like, excuse me, like what? Like, like I just had never heard it all put together like that. It was like almost like overly sensitive, but I was like, I'll take that over all the other stuff. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
mm.
Yeah. And are men evolving versus like can men evolve? I don't know. There's a kind of like two different questions, but also the same thing at the same time. But like again, like thinking about my own relationship with Ben, it's like he's evolved so much. I mean, I've grown as well. But he's evolved so much because he really was like in his shell and like stuck in perfectionism and really worried about like being perfect and like being yeah and just being a people pleaser and I had to like yell it out of him. I never yelled at him but like I had to be like I had to, I had to be like I'm not interested in this version of you. Like every time it came up, I'm not interested in this version of you. Like if you can't meet me with your full self and an open heart, like I'm not that dynamic doesn't work for me. And so he was like, I hear you and like thank you and I will put in the work. And if I'm not putting in the work at the rate that feels good for you, I understand if we need to go separate ways. And so that was such a beautiful conversation and he has put in the work. He's like, yeah, he's like done therapy and seeked out like different literature and been had like practices of being present with himself. And it's been amazing because like we're I want to grow side by side with someone. And like that's what it's been so far. So yeah, it's been great. So like he has evolved, but I feel like it is more rare. Like usually you meet a man and the version you meet at the very beginning is like the version that they are the whole entire time. And so it's like hard to say.
Yeah. Well, and I would say like Ben was able to evolve, but like he wasn't really evolving out of like toxic things, you
Mhm.
know? And I think that that's important too, because there's so many people who like stay in relationships or like, like date men and they have these like toxic problems. And
That's
it's not on you to stay with them while they work through bad stuff like that. Like my ex at the end,
addiction,
huh?
like addiction or bad
Yes.
habits or yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
people with addiction, being in relationships where they're like, well, I'm going to go to therapy and we'll fix it. And like, now I know the problem and like, it was me and I'm going to change it. And I've had that happen in relationships of mine. And I've always been like, great, I'm going to stand by you. Like, I love you. And like, it gets to a point where you're just like, this is not healthy for me. And like, you need to take time on your own to fix that. And like, have I seen super toxic men be able to fix that? No, that's
No.
not my thing. Like maybe something little or something, but the men that like you have this dynamic with where it is super unhealthy, like who say they're going to fix it, I would say like 9 times out of 10, they're not going to. And even if they do, it's like a band aid. And then as soon as they feel like they have you again, it just goes right back to the way it was.
Yeah. Okay, so I feel like there's almost two buckets of like there's men who are trying to are evolving from like to a toxic place. Like, I'll work on it, I'll go to therapy, I'll get help, I'll whatever, I'll change, I'll be better. And then there's like the man who's like almost Ben's camp where they were more in a passive state of
Mm-hmm.
existing. Like they were more of a passive man. Like, I don't want to cause any harm. I don't want to take up space. I don't want to like bring attention to myself. I'll just like it's kind of like phoning in their life, like just kind of being checked out in a way, and not harnessing their power. And I think this can happen especially in like with liberal men in the liberal space where they're like, well, I'm trying to not take up space and like I'm a like cisgendered straight white male, like no one wants to hear from me, like I should stay out of the way, I should be small. And it can kind of turn them into these like passive little doormats. And like that's also not attractive and not helpful for anyone. And so it's like you're just kind of in the way and like not doing anything or contributing anything. And
Yeah.
oftentimes that leads to like erectile dysfunction and like other things. So it's just like yeah, like I feel like those are kind of the two general camps of um, like a personal evolution of men. And I feel like Ben was more so in the passive camp of like feeling a lot of resentment around his life, but not really taking action for self-love and growth and like not really owning his power and not like, doing self-love or self-care activities. And so he really had to learn those things in order to like, yeah, to be the incredible human he is. And he's always been, but he just was like in this pacified state. Which again, like that doesn't help anyone because if you're a woman, like men will just dull you if they're like that because they just kind of suck your life force out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's like, well, they're a nice guy. And it's like,
I totally get that. And I do think that there's this like new group of men evolving who are like primarily good and didn't really realize how big of a problem like some men's behavior is towards women. And I think they're starting to realize that. I think they're starting to look at things that like women are enduring and that are happening to them and being like, well, wait, like when I'm in the room and that guy makes that messed up joke about that woman, I'm not going to laugh anymore.
Hmm.
And like, you know, and then like, so like first they're not laughing. And then now like they're not laughing, but they're actually speaking up about it and saying like, you know, like that's horrible that you said that. And then like third, their next thing is like they're not going to associate with that man. And like I feel like I am seeing more of that, which is good. And I'm
Hmm.
seeing a lot of like, I mean, because like there's even that news article right now about the man who just like walked down the street and just punched a woman right in her face, you know? And like things like that are still happening all the time. So like men will be like, oh, women do this or women do that. But like there's not all these stories about women like beating random men or killing them or, you know, like kidnapping
Not
them. So
yet,
like
at least, especially since I haven't carried a gun the last 15 years. But
there's not yet, but I think a lot more men are becoming aware that like this is a
yeah.
reality that a lot of women live in. And like
Hmm.
from a very young age, like they always talk about how like girls mature faster than boys do, right? Well, girls get faced with like a lot of serious things very early on, even being children and preteens and teenagers, where they have to like where they get in situations where they don't feel safe or they have to protect themselves or they have to look at their surroundings when boys don't have to. So it forces girls to mature almost faster. So I think
Yeah.
a lot of men are actually like becoming more aware of this issue and like getting involved instead of
Yeah.
just looking the other way or like laughing at it.
I think it's also like I'm kind of really grateful for red pill content where it's like women should be submissive and all that stuff, like MAGA red pill people who are just like women shouldn't have the right to vote. And because I think men are seeing, yeah, there's
They're
so
seeing
many.
how it is.
Yeah, I'm grateful for them because what's happening is a lot of young boys are falling down that rabbit hole and then they're like growing up. Like maybe they were 18 when they first saw it like 3 years ago, but now they're 21 and they're like, that was complete. Like I can't believe I like got like hypnotized by that
Yeah.
rhetoric. And then half normal men are seeing that and being like, wow, that's crazy. Like, I can't believe like men like this exist and that women are like being
I mean,
like,
it's a very real thing. I was in a relationship where a guy told me that I wasn't submissive enough. And he said if you were more submissive, it would be rewarded. Like
what
I
kind of bucket to
was
throw
like,
up in?
I was like, what year is this? Like, where are we? Like, this is
Yeah.
America. And like, he was being very serious in this conversation. Like, it was like very like, I was like, I thought I knew this person. I don't know this person at all. But like, that shit still happens. And that wasn't that long ago. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I think majority of men are not like that. I just think that the loudest men are kind of like that.
well, and I
Um,
think the most insecure men are like that. I
mhm.
think a man who wants a submissive partner and needs that, like, that needs to feel like they're just like a little bit above that person is like a very insecure man. Because like secure men are like, good, like I want you to be as live and vibrant and outspoken as you are because like I love that about you. And like, you know, like we're in this relationship and I feel secure in that. But like insecure men just want to like keep you very small.
Yeah. Well, this is where I think like having an education around like um BDSM dynamics and having an understanding about like what is um a dominant, what is a submissive, and like actually like seeing those roles played out, having a deep understanding of like what that looks like and what that is like the submissive is actually someone who's topping from the bottom because they create the parameters of safety and consent, and then the dominant has to behave and act within that. So it's like the submissive is the one controlling everything. The dominant is just playing in the sandbox that the submissive created for them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's
I
like,
get that.
yeah, so it's like the submissive person is just the one who is like, it's, it can be a really healing dynamic. But it's like, it's not, these
And not
men
from a man who's just like, you're underneath me. Like, that's just it. You know what I
these
mean?
men who are like, I want a submissive woman, like they don't even know what that means. Like
Yeah.
they don't understand the dynamics. They don't understand what someone who's dominant does or how they behave or how they feel. And like being dominant, the dominant one requires like sensitivity and trust because it's like you have to be finely attuned to someone else's needs and someone's like listen really intently and
Mhm.
how are they receiving this? How are they feeling about that? Like I just suggested something. How did they like suddenly shallow breathe? Like did they let out a big sigh? Like it like makes
Yeah,
them
I
feel
know these aren't the
deep.
type of men I'm talking about.
No, yeah, that's like a true dominant
Yeah.
man is someone who
Mhm.
listens and is patient and like who's very tuned in and
Yeah.
sensitive and like it's just the complete opposite. And these men don't realize that. And it's just a shame because it's kind of like I wish there was a church that like talked about God and like maybe Jesus too, but not the Bible and like not Christianity because I love God and I'm down with Jesus, but like I'm not down with the Bible and I'm not down with the patriarchal structure of Christianity personally. And so I wish there was somewhere I could go where we could talk about God and love, but it wasn't all about men and it wasn't like the stories from the Bible that were written by men that and so for me I'm like I wish that existed but it doesn't and it's not common so it's like there's no space for that so where am I to go probably a Christian church and so it's like if I want to go to some sort of church where we're talking about God and like possibilities and love and whatever and have community, it's like, well, that's really the only option. And it's kind of the same thing for men and masculinity and like doing self-development through like, and you want to evolve your masculinity. It's like, well, these are the outlets that exist. And some of it might be very toxic, but that's all there is. It's like military, sports and then like these toxic dudes. Other
Yeah.
than that, like where can you talk about the male experience or growing as a man or the masculinity or like being a man? Like it's because those healthy men who don't who were born with a good example and just raised right and who have great hearts, they're just like living their life. They're not even probably online. They're not even like
Yeah.
they're
Mhm.
not even on Instagram. They're not like posting. They're fucking, they're
Yeah.
working and going home and like taking care
Yeah.
of their community, being a part of the people they love's lives. Like they're not fucking writing
Yeah.
books and things, and most of them. And so it's kind of this like double-edged sword of the people who take comfortable, who the people who take up space often are the ones who shouldn't. And like Ben's reading this book right now that like I was a student of John Wineland's for a while, and like he was really good for teaching feminine masculine dynamics in a certain way, but he was also like teaching, he basically was trying to teach just like a lot of it was teaching women how to be a doormat. Like, so
Yeah.
there were positives and there were negatives. And then he learned from this man, David Data, who wrote The Way of the Superior Man. And that was even more toxic and gross and like he has a lot of positive teachings in the books but then there's also like he tells a story about being attracted to his babysitter and he's driving her home and she's so lit up and energetic and he's like getting so much energy and life from her and it's normal for men to be attracted to like younger life-filled women compared to their like wives or like the mothers of their children and so there's like
There's a lot of books out there that teach stuff like that and teach about like manipulating women and how to date and how to like use tactics to get a woman to give you like interest and stuff like that. And it's just like if you need to go to those resorts, you're probably like probably got some issues, you know?
yeah. So it's
Yeah,
really frustrating because it's like there's so many there's like good things and then there's also like really disgusting parts of it. But it's like, well, those are the only books that exist right now. So it's kind of a shame.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
true. Do you want to rattle off some of your statistics real quick before we head out
Yes. Okay.
and wrap it up?
Yeah, so I will be transparent. I did not do an in-depth verification of these statistics. I just did quick searches and like gathered them. So look into them if you want. But okay, emotional openness is increasingly seen as part of a healthy masculinity. In a major 2024 Pew survey of 6,000 Americans, 60% said society doesn't value men who are caring enough, and 60% said the same about men who are open about their emotions. Another 55% said affectionate men aren't valued enough, and younger Americans were particularly likely to feel like these qualities deserve more value. Um, a lot of stereotypical bad boy behavior is actually pretty unpopular now, including
Mhm.
among men. So
Yeah.
you found that 75% of Americans think it's unacceptable for men to join in when other men are talking sexually about
Mhm.
women. Meanwhile, 69% say it's unacceptable for men to have lots of sexual partners instead of committing to one relationship. 63% disapprove of getting very drunk with friends, and 62% disapprove of throwing a punch when provoked.
Mhm.
Um,
I feel like I do see that. I feel like that's shifting.
yeah. Pew says majorities of men themselves rejected all four behaviors. Um, that's like very different than it used to be. I mean, think about like 2000s movies, like man
Mhm.
behavior, man jokes, like 40-Year-Old Virgin or like Pineapple
Yeah.
Express or all those stupid dude humor movies, like all the jokes in there. Um, it's like it wasn't that long ago where all these things that are socially unacceptable now were
Mhm.
acceptable and laughed at and it's kind of celebrated. So it's like, in a way, it has evolved pretty fast. Um, Young men seem pretty interested in marriage and family. 69% said they want to get married someday. 57% of men said they want children and someday versus only 45% of women. Um, Men being primary homemakers is considered considerably normalized.
Mhm.
57% of Americans say it's extremely or very acceptable for a man to take care of the home and children while his wife works for pay. Fathers
Mhm.
are doing substantial childcare, but women still do considerably more. Uh,
Yeah, I agree with all of that, and I think they're really good statistics, and I would like to think, and I do think that we're starting to hopefully move in the right direction.
yeah, men are doing more childcare than they have in the past. Men have more emotional support systems than they do in the past. Um, Basically, yeah. Then there's lots of statistics at the end that say that men are concerned about masculinity and that think that it's a positive thing and that we should grow in the direction of healthy masculinity versus toxic. So it's a prominent conversation, and I think it is pointing to men are growing. And so I would like that to be a reassuring sign, and yeah and to just trust that the person that you want will be evolved and have done the work and continue to do the work and that they're out there waiting for you if you want.
I agree. I agree too, and I think it's a positive thing, and I think just keeping these conversations going and including men in them is just all in the right, direction, and it just makes people more aware, and I feel like the more aware they are, they really are seeing what an issue it is, and I do think that the conversations and, like, actions are starting to change, so
Yeah, as it gets more normalized, which it is. So we
yes.
should definitely keep talking about it in your day to day.
Yeah. So
But
let us know what you think. Are you seeing signs that men are evolving? Do you see the culture kind of changing and shifting? Or do you think it's still just a shit show out there?
leave us a
Let us
comment, a
know.
review, subscribe on YouTube and Spotify. You can find me at Sammy B Love on Instagram, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye.
Bye.